America is the one thing. President Obama says we're entering a new era of responsibility, and at first I was a little skeptical, but now I understand, oh, he means what he says. I mean, if he means you don't have to be responsible for anything that you actually do in America anymore, we're there. Welcome to the new reality. You may have heard that Obama's pick for Health and Human Services is Tom Daschle, and he got a private car and driver from a friend. Wow, what a friend, huh? He didn't know, Tom Daschle, that he was supposed to pay over $100,000 on taxes on it. I mean, how many times has that happened to you? But it's okay, because he paid that off last week. And the IRS was very understanding. They didn't give him any penalties at all. Can I ask you a question? You think if you or I were audited on that, you think we'd, maybe have to shell out some penalty money? Probably to the tune of $25,000. That's the penalty, but he didn't get any of that. Oh, and then there's this update. This happened this morning. He's going to cut another check for $6,000 because I didn't know I had to pay Medicare for the driver too. This is the guy that's supposedly going to run Medicare. If he sounds kind of like Tim Geithner, oh yeah, he is. That's the guy who was picked to lead the IRS, but forgot to pay $34,000 in taxes. They basically are saying these guys are just too big or important to fail. So those picks are just being shoved down our throats. I mean, you don't understand it, you little person. Congressman Charlie Rangel's still out there. He's the head of the Tax Writing Ways and Means Committee. He also couldn't figure out the tax code, even though he wrote it. If we're going to go for the best and the brightest, no matter what they do, even if they break the law, don't pay their taxes, whatever, let's really go for it. Let's play this out. Let's roll up our sleeves and find the best people to run our country. If law-breaking doesn't matter. For instance, Medicare, Social Security. It's melting down. Daschle isn't going to be the guy who can cut that. We need somebody who's in there who's good at moving money from one place to another. That's why I'd like to nominate Bernie Madoff. Sure, $50 billion, but he's the best man for the job. What about Defense Secretary? We need a pit bull. We need somebody who could really take the job seriously, who would put serious hurt on his enemies, know how to get in there and really, mess things up. I'm thinking, hairy back guy Khalid Sheikh Mohammed. That guy would be sweet, huh? Now, who should head the Department of Homeland Security? Got to be somebody who understands eavesdropping, electronic warfare, letter bombs. Yeah, say it with me. Unabomber Ted Kaczynski. Secretary of Labor, one of the big goals is to make things easier for you by increasing the power of the union, so we need somebody that understands unions. That, of course, is one man, John Gotti. But he's dead, so let's just move on with the family. John Jr., perhaps? People in Congress or the White House would say, oh, that's ridiculous, putting those kinds of criminals in charge of our country. Yeah, it does sound ridiculous, doesn't it? But as ridiculous as it sounds, what's the difference? People will tell you it's a matter of scale. That's completely blown out of proportion. Oh, really? It's all relative? In my world, in my country, things weren't relative. True is true. We used to be a country that knew the difference between right and wrong. But when there's this kind of pattern, with so many people who don't seem to know what right and wrong is, or at least how to figure out their income tax, I don't think we should be cutting any slack to these people. You would be in jail for the kinds of things that these guys did. When there's a pattern, nail them. If it's a mistake, it's a mistake. But can you imagine what the IRS would do to you if you didn't pay your taxes like this? Like Daschle claimed on his trip to the Bahamas. He took it on a corporate jet, and he claimed that it was charitable. No, it was. They don't send him to jail. They give him a top cabinet spot. That would happen to you, too.